Hey, are you someone who considers yourself having a large or supportive, successful family, but right now your family's struggling to support an addict, someone that is bringing down your family name and reputation, who's stealing from you, who's disrespecting you, but for some reason you still have like this instinct, I gotta do something. But people around you, the neighbor who goes to AA, all these people have told you, no, there's nothing you can do until they hit rock bottom. So now you're told you just have to wait. Just wait. Or separate yourself from them. Just let them go. And when they're ready, they'll come back. I mean, the logic behind this is ridiculous, right? We're going to wait for the sickest person in the family to suddenly make one of the most mature decisions and take a huge leap of faith. It's screwed up. There's no such thing as rock bottom. A lot of what you're going to find in the addiction recovery industry is garbage. And I wanted to share this opportunity with you because there's something very powerful and effective that you can do immediately to support your loved one. And I can promise you, you haven't tried this before. You see, the problem is families all too often fall into this divide and conquer mindset, or they fall into social norms, right? It's awkward. We don't normally get together and talk with each other about vulnerable or sensitive topics. That's the society we live in. But yet on the other hand, we find ourselves in this situation where we're trying to support a loved one and help a child or a family member who's struggling. They're really hurting. They could die tomorrow. This calls for something different. Addiction doesn't play by any set of rules. We can't approach this, we can't support them or help them based on any standard set of rules. We can't fall into social norms and think we're going to effectively treat addiction. It doesn't work that way. We have to throw everything out the window and we have to say, what tools do we have to work with? What resources do we have at our disposal? Let me ask you this. If there was a major natural disaster tomorrow, or if there was a death in your family, or if you won the lottery, who would there be to help with resources? Who would come to that funeral? Who would you share your winnings with? Your family. If you had 30 minutes to live, what would you do? Almost everybody that I've asked that question to, they say one thing. I would spend it with my family. So if you're somebody who actually has a family, parents, brothers, sisters, in-laws, dogs, cats, then I'm inviting you to take advantage of what you have. There is nothing stronger than the family. And when you are willing to step into this space of breaking social norms, of doing things different than Bill or Sue or the neighbor when their son went through addiction and 7 years later he ended up getting clean or whatever it is, throwing it all out the window. If you're tired of waiting on hold with insurance companies, paying $20,000, $30,000 per rehab stint, if you're sick of the discussions within your family where everything's about this one person, but we kind of conveniently avoid the discussions about other individuals in the family that are also struggling. If you'll click on the link below, I have a webinar there for you where I can get into much more detail about the services I provide, what that might mean for your family. You'll get a better idea of what I'm talking about when I say that the greatest opportunity to support your loved one now, but also to potentially change your family legacy for generations to come. I know that happened with my family. Back in 2005, when I went through an opiate addiction, they were like deer in the headlight. But my father owned a construction company. My mother worked at a bank. I had brothers, sisters, in-laws, nieces, nephews. Like, we had so much at our disposal, but yet no one was prepared. Nobody knew what to do. Eventually, we had this family meeting and I went off to rehab. But did you know years later, when I watched siblings go through bankruptcy and divorce, I still witnessed my family struggle to communicate, struggle to ask for help, struggle to pool our resources to truly negate some of the side effects of those situations. Why? Because they fell into social norms again. They did what everybody else does. Well, if you're tired of the rat race, if you're tired of these discussions, if you're looking around at your family like, guys, what is the end result here? What are we doing? If you're at that point where it just seems like something's missing, I would invite you to click on the link below, watch the webinar, and learn some of the techniques that you can begin to implement now. And hopefully we can build a relationship at that point. Click on the link below. I will see you in the next video.